What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Manny Robles. Manny Robles, of course, is the former trainer of Andy Ruiz, the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, and he is currently training Charles Martin come this Saturday. And of course, he's ready for battle with Charles Martin. And he was asked a series of questions about Andy Ruiz and his future and the rumors speculating around the possible fight with him, with Ruiz and Luis Ortiz. Okay. Now, he had some interesting things, but they were pretty much cut and dry to say about that particular fight. He said, the matchup between Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz, it depends on what Andy Ruiz shows up. And he clearly puts it all and solely in the hands of Andy Ruiz. Ruiz has to be that guy that is focused. He has to want it. So it's solely up to him. So if he doesn't want it, he's not going to win the fight. He's going to come in overweight. He's going to come in obese. He's going to come in out of shape. He's going to come in the opposite of where he needs to be to want that fight. So I think he has to make up his mind according to Manny Robles and what he was saying. Me counterpunching Manny Robles, he's absolutely right. With Andy Ruiz taking on Luis Ortiz, that is an interesting battle. I am curious about it. But he's absolutely right. And according to Manny Robles, you have normal trainers that bash their guys when they fall out and then kind of take it from the point that they fell out onto that point. So if something happens to that fighter after that, I told you so. Manny Robles is not like that. Manny Robles is like, hey, Andy Ruiz can do anything he wants to do that he puts his mind, body, and spirit to. And he's proved that. And, I helped him get there, but he has to want it because he couldn't keep it. And then the money really foiled him into, wanting to do what he already accomplished to do. Maybe somebody is one of those one-hit wonders, maybe not. That's why he's number one on the redemption list, people. But, according to Manny, he's not bashing Andy. He's not, saying, oh, he can't do that. He's saying he can do anything he wants to do because he's seen his full potential. He's seen, and maybe, you know what? He might not even seen his full potential. He's just seen a determined Andy Ruiz, and he helped him get where he needed to do in the time frame that he had, right? Because obviously Andy wanted that fight. It wasn't Manny pushing him to fight Anthony Joshua. It was Andy Ruiz wanting that on his own because he knew, hey, I think I can beat that big guy right there. I think I can beat that big guy under certain circumstances, under these and the circumstances opened up an opportunity. So he took it. He wanted that. But after he won, he didn't want that no more. You know what I mean? He thought that, hey, okay, either, I think what happened, honestly, I think he underestimated, Anthony Joshua underestimated him, and then he underestimated Anthony Joshua. On top of the lack of, what's the word? He wasn't really hyped. He wasn't interested. The lack of interest, that's the word I'm looking for in the next fight, because he thought, oh man, Anthony Joshua, I hit that dude and made him do this and made him do a little dance, right? I can do that again easily, so I don't even need to train, and that's a mistake that I think a lot of fighters make. And someone eventually that will fail thinking that same thing is Mr. Wilder, because Andy started thinking like Deontay Wilder. All I have to do is hit him with a particular shot, right? Well, that shot never came. Wilder, unfortunately, that will happen. It might not be the night. It could be the night, but it might not be the night. But it will be in a case soon where he will have to deal with the fact that maybe this right hand won't work and I can't land it. Speak it, believe it, receive it is a powerful concept. I'm not down in that at all. But if you think only with that narrow-mindedness, you got to land this one punch like Andy Ruiz was thinking in the rematch, that's where you can end up. and Andy suffered the consequences. But back to Manny Robles. Manny Robles said it depends on what Andy shows up. If it's a determined Andy, he beats Luis Ortiz. If it's not, Luis Ortiz might take him, because Luis Ortiz didn't look bad in the fight. I don't know why people are saying, oh, he looked slow and molasses. No, he did not. He looked fast. He looked more fit than he did when he fought Deontay Wilder the first time. So he looked in shape. You know, his hair grew out a little bit. He tried to look like he was younger or whatever, but he looked better. He looked, because he got a different strength and conditioning coach, and I can tell. You know what I mean? But he looked good, and I would like to see him fight better opposition so we can see where this guy truly is. I don't want to take Wilder's word for it. I don't want to take he's the boogeyman for no reason and because he ain't fighting nobody. The fact of the matter is he hasn't fought anyone else besides Deontay Wilder and Brian Jennings. Okay, so we have to see what else this man can do. You know, I like his boxing skills because I know he comes from the Cuban school. And in Cuba, they don't play. You know, they train year round. But how good is he professionally? How good is he at the age that he's at to this day? How good is he really? You know, so I would expect the best fights to be made. You know, Andy Ruiz and Luis Ortiz, I did think of that fight, honestly. If Luis Ortiz beat Wilder and Andy Ruiz beat Joshua, that fight could have been made. But in this case, the losers are fighting each other, which is fine, you know. But according back to Manny Robles, you know, he feels that it's an interest problem. It's a motivation problem. And Andy Ruiz has to be motivated if he really has a chance to beating this guy. You know, the saddest thing Andy could ever do is take a fight on his platform for a few $1 million. You know what I mean? And another sadder thing is if he takes a fight for a few $1 million, which I believe it will be, I think it'll be about 3 or 4 million that he'll accept a fight with Luis Ortiz with, that he's already ditched a fight with Dillian White for 5 million or 6 million or something like that, right? So that'll let you know right there where, you know, where that comfort lies. You know, what you would settle for just being comfortable in your own platform or on your own network or whatever, you know, or your side of the street. But I do agree with Manny Robles. He does have to want it. If he's lost, if that fire has went out in Andy Ruiz, he will stay on that redemption list, people, and he will stay there until he retires or he gets beat again and again, but he will be on that list. So you guys tell me what you think of Manny Robles. Do you think he's biased? Do you think he's telling the truth? Give me your thoughts. Please subscribe, of course. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.